Ladies and gentlemen, there are several psychological ramifications and implications for the word failure. Some people feel disappointment, anger, guilt, shame. You could probably relate with it. But how do you really climb out of a trading hole? How do you actually talk to the people around you that are depending on you to make money when you're experiencing potentially the hardest April ever? I'm going to show you exactly how to climb out of that trading hole. And if we do have time, hopefully we don't, I'm going to discuss Google earnings as well. I am Mark Melnick. This is the Newsbeat Show. All right, I don't think the music was working because I just updated my XSplit. But if you think I give a crap about the music working when you have to learn how to climb out of a trading hole, you are sorely mistaken. So, what is this talk today? Is it about success and all the great things? And it's very easy to get sucked into that. Right now, people are very, very vulnerable. They're very vulnerable. This is, in my opinion, the hardest April that I have ever seen trading. Forget about making money. Forget about some of the names I'm doing well in and not whatever. This is the hardest April I have seen in 21 years. This is the 21st? Yeah, 21st April that I have ever experienced as an active intraday trader. But today, instead of just going over charts, and if I have time, I'll go over it, I want to talk about failure. I know, as a guru, I'm not supposed to talk about that. In fact, I'm just supposed to boast about what I did last month and what I did last season and what I did last quarter and what I did last year. And why? Because it's a cushion to fall back on that when I fall and what I sit on hits it at very high velocity. There's something nice and cushiony there. But you know how that makes other people feel who have bills to pay and are trying to get out of this market and are trying to dig out of a hole? It does absolutely nothing for you. So today we're going to actually talk about this and talk about failure in general. If the world was perfect, you would never run into failure ever in your trading career. In fact, if nobody ever ran into failure in their trading career, I humbly believe that 90% of people would be day traders or more. And although I pray and I work tirelessly to ensure that at any point that nobody falls in a hole, the truth is successful traders and traders who have never been successful alike always happen to fall into holes given a certain market environment. I wish you the best, most amazing trading career where you have this beautiful equity curve that's just very smooth and not choppy like this. And I wish you phenomenal success. For me, for me, I dropped out of college when I was 19. I got into the market and I made $1 million my first year. And you know what that does? Nothing for you. And believe it or not, nothing for me. So instead, our careers as traders don't always start in this straight up path. In the pursuit of consistency, everybody and every trader shares a certain number of setbacks and a certain number of successes that literally define them in the industry. So, what I want to do today is I want to talk about how to climb out of a trading hole. And I think, is this the hardest April ever? I mean, maybe you want to compare it to like April 2003, I would say was probably 4 or 5 times better than this. And that was the hardest April I've ever seen. It has nothing to do with P&L. It has nothing to do with successes. It has nothing to do with a lot of great things going on or hard things going on. It's just the way the market is. So we're going to teach you today. I have this adorable little title here, Director of Trading Psychology. If you look over to the left on my wall, you'll see a diploma made out of white paint. It's nice and clear and beautiful and neat. I don't have a psychology degree, but I've read enough psychological studies where I humbly believe I'm qualified to speak about the issue. and we're going to share with you how to overcome this issue today. We're going to talk about how to climb out of a trading hole, the hardest April ever, figuring out your style of trading in the current environment. In the current environment, for keeping it real, did I typo environment? Keeping it real, one step at a time, what Newsbeat traders are doing well, then the rest of the stuff if time permits. Okay. So when we actually trade well, one of the things you need to do as a trader is, because trading is cyclical, you need to be able to tolerate failure. We're going to have trades that lose. Even a lot of times, it often happens after you're running well. We're going to have losing weeks, months, even if we overall have a good year. In fact, we're even going to do stupid things, which we know we shouldn't do from time to time, even if we end up profitable in a certain amount of time. In fact, given that we are taking risks, calculated ones, it is inevitable that we will experience losses and setbacks. Taking risk without experiencing the occasional loss or setback is like breathing in without breathing out. It reinforces the need to prepare for losses and failure in our trading. And the humbling conclusion begs to ask, when faced with failure, what do you do to bounce back? How do you come back from failure, learn from it, and become stronger than ever? And what have you learned from the past? What have these losses taught you, just like what your gains have taught you? Because honestly, all you are is a combination of your knowledge and experience as a trader. That will ultimately define you. And whether you realize it or not, you're actually growing even when you're taking gains. Well, to most people, that's obvious. And you're growing even when you take losses. You see, all your losses and all your gains, all they do is they create a platform for you to stand on from what you have learned. It's literally the nest in which you have built. The first thing I need you to do is to define failure. We need to define what failure is before I could explore some of these topics further. Most people say the first answer, if I asked you guys, what is failure? Most people would say a negative P&L or losses, right? Right? Yes, P&L is a critical barometer of your success. I'm just saying there is a lot more to be learned than were you up or down today or this week or this month. Now I want you to imagine that you were up 25% per year on average for 5 years. Then you are up 1% in the most recent year. You're profitable, but would you be content with those results? And the answer is probably not. You would feel like you had some form of shortcoming. Perhaps you had a good year in terms of profits, but should have made exponentially more because maybe the market conditions were good, or maybe you should have lost less because you knew the market conditions were not good and you needed to sort of hit the brakes a little. Maybe you could be down 5% that year, but if the market conditions were terrible for the way you trade, and the last time in these market conditions you were down 15%, maybe losing 5% would be considered victorious, despite the fact that you lost money. You just don't think of it like that. You need to have a definition of failure that accounts not just for your P&L, but how you are making decisions in your trading relative to your expectations. And a lot of times traders don't set their expectations correctly. A lot of traders will set their expectations. A lot of traders will set their expectations, for example, based on an average amount of dollars they would like to make a year that could support a lifestyle. Trading is all about making good decisions. It doesn't really matter how much you're up or down. If you focus on that, that's how you don't grow. Instead, When you come in trading, the next time you trade, I want you to just focus on the good decisions. You want to know what's true every single time? Every time I made my first million and second million and so on and so on and so on. You know what's true every time as I go through life as a trader? I never focused on it. I never tried to make $1 million. I never tried. It wasn't my goal. In fact, when I made it, it was just about doing good decisions every day. And as crazy as this sounds, it's almost like it just magically happened. Your P&L will be the result of naturally making good decisions, process driven decisions that are based on who you are as a trader. What we're really talking about is your performance relative to your expectations in every single aspect. An amazing trader might expect to make 50 million in a year and then beat the living crap out of him or herself because maybe they only made 10 million. And another could be hoping to make, you know, $1,000 a week to make 48,000 a year, and then ends up making 50,000 a year and feels like they really succeeded. We can benchmark our performance according to other metrics like win-loss ratio, average winner versus average loser. A trader could strive for a 60% win rate and fail by only getting to 58. Another could be success when a trader is shooting for 70% or more of a win rate, what we shoot here in the Newsbeat live room, and only get and hit 75% and consider that amazing. Similarly, you need to have this broad sort of conception of how this style should perform under various market conditions, which really brings me to the next point. Is this the hardest April ever? And I have a collection of so many strategies that worked in different environments. And I look at them and I look at the market and I look at the chop and slop and I look at the type of moves. And what I've realized is a good strategy to do is almost go just for whole numbers based on a daily chart, like a big whole number, like a number that's a 10 or a 100. For example, a 100 number could be when a stock is at 98 and it's near 100, or a stock's at $197 and it's near 200. That, for whatever reason in this market, having that gravitation towards that number has been absolutely phenomenal. And I'm going to show you for just some stupid examples here, like Nvidia. Nvidia like leaning towards $300 when it was like dipping down and coming up here, and it got there. It got to 304. Or for example, BlackRock leaning towards $500 the other day as it was breaking out. I was actually looking at BlackRock calls. The stock closed at 496.65, opened up at 508. That has been working in this market. And a lot of these ideas, don't think like I'm sitting here and like a lot of the ideas I do generate, like I didn't generate this idea, but I could learn from idea generation that's developed around me. So take a look at Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin looks sort of like it wants to gravitate towards $400. So I threw a little bit of money at it. I threw a little bit, a few $1,000s or whatever at it for it to go to $400. I threw a few $1,000s at it for it to go to $400. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I have no idea what it's going to do tomorrow. But there's a trade that I'm in live right now. And again, if you're in the Newsbeat live room, you obviously get it. But the point I'm making is this is really the hardest April I have ever seen in 21 years. So I felt this was a very important time to do this video. There are a lot of you guys who make money only in bullish moves, and that's okay. And a lot of you will beat yourself up that you don't like bear moves. And a lot of you are only catching bear moves even in this environment and making money. So how do you come back from this failure? What do you do exactly when the market is very, very hard? The only important thing before I continue is to have an honest appraisal of how you're doing right now at this exact moment. You need to have an honest appraisal of how you're doing right now at this exact moment. If you're looking in the mirror and you're seeing, something that's not there, it's going to be very hard for me to help you. So, how do you come back from trading failure? Well, you have to see what you're doing now and resolve to do better. If you're unhappy with your trading results, fine. I get it. You're unhappy. But you could start tomorrow, right now, and get better. Wallowing in your unhappiness will do absolutely nothing to correct your mistakes and is likely to worsen your sense of distress. There is absolutely no reason to beat yourself up. I was driving with a friend once, and a long time ago, and I was driving a Chevy Camaro, my first car, a red Chevy Camaro that I bought for $1,500, 84, 84 red Camaro. Um, and I was driving, the thing drinks gas like an Irishman at a pub. I mean, the thing just guzzles gas and gets around, like 100 meters per gallon, something like, I'm exaggerating, but it doesn't get good gas mileage. So we're actually we're actually on the road, and we're in Brooklyn, and we're driving and we're in traffic on the Belt Parkway, and we have to stop at a gas station. But my car was literally on E, and we were just absolutely stuck in traffic. I mean, we are talking like we are not moving. The longer my car is on, the more likely it's just going to suddenly turn off. And my friend is sitting there like, oh my God, Mark, we're out of gas. What are we going to do? We're going to be stuck here. We're going to have to call a tow truck. This. And you know what I tell him? I look over to him and I'm like, keep talking like that because that's going to help our situation. I said it in a more funny manner. I was like, keep up that rhetoric. It's going to help us get through this like that. And the reason why I say this because there's really no reason to beat yourself up. I know it's very easily, for me personally, I'm coming from a person, there's nobody who kicks my behind like me. So I get it. So why don't we just focus on how to improve from there and move through the right steps to get to that next level? And we're going to talk about figuring out your style of trading in the current environment, and this could not be more true for everyone. The key is to have your own style for making decisions. The most important step is to make sure that you have a defined style of trading. Write it down on an expletive book. This is your way of doing things, how you get in and out of positions. Write it down. Write it down. Right? Are you listening? Write it down. Write it down. Don't be lazy. How many of you are going to write it down after this? Should I continue? Should I continue? So help me God, Dimitri. I'm going to ask you. I'm screenshotting all your names. I'm screenshotting all your names right now in the Newsbeat live room. Type in 11 in chat if you want somebody, if you want like a bulldog, barking at you from behind when you don't do something. Heck, I wish I had one of me chasing me like that earlier in my career. You need a plan for how you intend to make money out of the market. Talk about how you're entering. Talk about your limit orders. Talk about your strategy. Talk about your market orders. Talk about what you're wanting to make. And more importantly, write it down on a piece of paper because you are going to form neurological connections within your brain that are going to make you actually do it in a real time setting when you're actually trading. So take the time, get it all written down, and define what you are doing. If you are starting out and you're sort of a newbie trader with trading, fine. That's okay. Why don't we do it like this? If you maybe we talked about a site that literally records all your strategies and trades, and we shared with you TraderView. How about we just do this? Step one, talk about which stocks, type of stocks, actual stocks you're trading. Define where you wish to buy and sell these stocks. Limit orders, market orders, when, time of day, what kind of size. Answer the questions. Answer the questions. Answer them for yourself. Please. Please. Help me help you. Please. While failure can result from not having a plan as such, it can also stem from not having a plan that's suited to your personality. Maybe you have somebody who's doing the same thing over and over and is refusing to even try to change, even if they're successful or not. You know, it's funny. I tell my son every single time, like my son, six months, maybe 8 months ago, could not reach the rim. We have this basketball rim, and it's maybe, I don't know, 7 feet tall, approximately. And he couldn't reach it with like the little mini basketballs. You know, you have like that little like play set in the base, like that you see in the arcades that you shoot him. He couldn't reach it. And I came up to him and I said, I don't care if you don't reach it. I don't care if you keep missing. I only care that you try. So if you're going to go through this and you're not going to actually try to do what I'm trying to do to help you, I'm going to go to sleep at night and I'm going to say I did everything I can to help you. Are you doing everything you can to help you? I'm on your team. I'm on the other side of the boat trying to row it with you. If you just give up and lay there and watch, we're just going to spin in circles. Like that analogy? The key ingredient to your success is having a trading plan which befits your personality, that exploits your strengths and ignores your weakness. The next thing I want you to do is keep it real. Keep it real. And if you want to also know how to figure out your style, like if you're looking at this and like, Mark, I don't even know what I should do, you should be in a demo account. I don't give a crap if you're making millions of dollars and you're running into a hard month. You fall back on this sheet of paper. If you're unwilling to fall back on this sheet of paper, I'll spam it right now in the Newsbeat live room. But if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, screenshot it or write it down. Oh, sorry, there we go. Because this is the easiest way to get back on track. Are you going to listen to it? Are you going to listen to every step? That's on you, not me at this point. Once you actually have the defined plan, you got to keep it real. You should know what is going to happen if you go with your plan. You should know if it's going to cause a lot of boring moments or a lot of active moments. That way, you can really get a true feeling and benchmark of what you are doing. You should judge the risk being taken, the drawdowns, the losses, everything. You are prepping yourself for everything. If you're coming back from a perceived failure, you need to have an idea of how you think you should be doing, and then evaluate that in comparison to that and ignore all the other comparisons. For instance, I speak to these gentlemen, and a lot of them, it's kind of funny. I was speaking to somebody, and there was a trader, and he's in a trading chat. And all this chat does is they talk about, phenomenal numbers. They talk about phenomenal numbers. One dude is up, 3.5 million. And another dude in the room is up like like three, four, five, six, $700. I don't remember. It was three figures. And he is looking at the dude who's up seven figures and thinking that he screwed up. So what happens with that three-figure trader is that he goes ahead and starts upping his size, thinking that he's failing, thinking that where he's supposed to be is wrong because people around him are making millions. He literally sizes up and blows out his entire account. Sad story, huh? This is why it is toxic to talk about certain things. So that's why in the Newsbeat live room, I'll tell you right now, have I ever talked about how many people have ever heard me talk about my P&L in Encego after it hit our major target today of 15 bucks? How many people ever heard me talk about how much money? Why? 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 Maybe let's say I'm up zero, but why? Why? Why wouldn't I do that? Why wouldn't I do that? Exactly, Art. Exactly, Luke. Exactly. Because I would bring psychological toxicity to those people in which I am trying to help, and I am not a scumbag. Can insert whatever word you want here. But you see, I never knew that. I never knew that sharing P&Ls could be a toxic thing for others. For me, when people share with me a good P&L, I'm genuinely ecstatic. I'm happy. I'm like, great job, man. Like really like pumped, like makes my day. My wife is like, "Are you okay, Mark?" It's like almost like you put a menthol in your mouth or maybe in the wrong hole. You're just like all zesty and jumping up and down. Like you're just like, "Oh. What's going on, Mark?" Yeah, this person in my room killed it, crushed it today, baby. It was freaking amazing. But me? No, there's no reason to talk about that. In fact, I would much rather show you, the only thing I have shown YouTube and Facebook this year. Want to know the only thing I showed them this year from this season is a mathematical sample of losing earnings. Why? Because that you are going to garner more value from than anything. Now, granted, these three names on the list should help our mathematical, again, just educational purposes, never telling you to buy or sell security. Always disclaimer on top, demo purpose, right? Okay, now that's being said, this is going to help the numbers. These are going to help the numbers. Forward short, now I could talk about the positive after I give you a context. See, now it's a lot easier. Notice what I'm doing here, and this is going to help you psychologically. Ford is crushed after hours right now. How about Weight Watchers? We actually gave you guys this one. Um, we gave you guys this one recently. This one is working. Stock is at 25.47. This is what home runs are made out of. And then of course Silicon Motion, another one that was on our list. This one is it's hard to say where this one will go. It was up all the way till 46.33. Now it's showing 45, but there's too low volume to really understand where it'll open tomorrow. But it's looking good. Notice what I did there. Notice what I did there. Instead, and this is going to help you psychologically for how to climb out of your hole. Instead of just saying, okay, guys, well, this is how my earnings are doing from last season, up, $169,000. And again, just mathematical samples, never telling to buy or sell security ever. And I could do that. And I could do that. And I could just fall back on that number like this all day. You know why? Because it's a warm pillow. And it's a warm down pillow made from the finest geese feathers. And I could just lay on it and I could watch it snow outside. And I put this blanket over me and it feels like a fireplace that will protect me from ever making a wrong decision again. And it will end up hurting every one of you. Most traders fail because they haven't calibrated their expectations for different market conditions. April is a different market than March. I know they are 1 month away. I know that. I know that, the earth spun 30 times from March 1st to April 1st. The earth went in a full rotation 30 times. But oh my God, it just totally spun out of control because this market is completely different now than it was last month. And there is an excellent chance that next month will be completely different than April. After all, the market does evolve. You do believe that, right? I don't think I have ever met a trader who really thinks the market doesn't evolve. So why are all these traders and all these gurus and all these expletives hanging out and doing the same tired old stuff over and over as if the market remained dormant the entire time? You need to understand how your trading style will perform in different markets. Each of your trading styles has market types that are more conducive and less conducive than profiting in the current environment. You need to have a good idea of what you can do in this market, and throwing more money at it is not going to solve the situation because it's a burning fireplace when you have a hard market. And you can throw as much money as you want at it. The fire is just going to get fiercer and fiercer. You have to wait till it changes. And for those who are doing well, exploit the living out of it. Failure usually derives from not paying attention to how you are making decisions. So when you actually look at your decision process, look, I'm taking you through the steps here. If you don't do this, you're behind. You have to do the I'm giving you this in a form of sequential order in how you actually approach it. You don't take this here, go back here, go forward there. No, step by step by step. This is how you climb out of a hole. You want to make sure that you're checking each trade against your trading plan. How many of you guys are looking at the trades after you write this plan I talked about and say, did I follow this plan? I guarantee you do that. Your odds of success, in my humble opinion, I cannot be legally accountable for saying this. I have a feeling that you are going to succeed. I have I have faith in you that if you write down this thing right here, and tomorrow, I don't give an expletive what you do. But you come back and you look at all your trades and you compare them to this list right over there. I don't see why all of you aren't going to have a profitable over the next 5 days profitability. I have absolutely no doubt. You might. I don't. Demo account it. Prove it to yourself. Execute after. When you enter a trade into this record keeping system, there should be a rationale that explains why you put it on. How consistent is it with your trading approach? In this department, when you write out this list, by the way, hold on, how do I do it? Oh, like this. This list, when you write out this list, I want your expectations to be so high that even when Cheech and Chong look up, they can't even see you. I want your expectations to be high when you write this overall chart. I want you to define the person and trader you want to be. Please, you know what? I got, and you know what? Screw it, all of you guys too. If you guys answered 11 in chart, every single one of you, I want you guys to email me your answers on this and what you put together on this. I want every single one of you to email me, every single one of you, and even if you're not a Newsbeat Live member, we're gonna do you one solid. Um, you know what? Just email. You know what? Here. Newsbeat at t3live.com. Send your trader personality resume. Send it. I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it. Send it to me. I want to see it. You want somebody to hold you accountable for you? Tell me if your boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, or husband is going to hold you accountable to this level. Once you have explicitly and clearly defined who you are, then you are more empowered, and not even more empowered. That is the only time you will ever be empowered to bounce back from your trading. First of all, I need you to have realistic expectations, all right? You can't be one of those people who, like, I was watching a video of these European traders. And I don't know if you guys watch this on YouTube. I forgot the name of the video. I don't care. And the dude is like, I don't know, have any of you guys seen this? He's like, I want to be the world's first trillionaire. And I look at him and I'm like, I have never seen anybody with expectations that high. Yes, I would need a telescope to see it, and I might not be able to see it then. He's like, I want to be the world's first trillionaire. To me, inside my head, I'm like, shut the front door or shut the video down. I was like, just stop, just stop, please. If you send me that, I am deleting your email. Don't send me that BS. Don't send me that BS that you want to be a trillionaire. If you do, you're talking to the wrong person. You're talking to the wrong person. You know what? Talk to Jeff Bezos, and I guarantee you you're talking to the wrong person still. Talk to Warren Buffett. I guarantee you you're talking to the wrong person. Because they are not remotely close to becoming a trillionaire. But define realistic expectations, write them down, and send them to me. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to read them. Whether I answer you or not, maybe I'll answer you with like one of my fingers, any one of the 5 fingers. Yeah, maybe a thumbs up. If you answer trillionaire, you might get another finger. Pinky finger. $1 trillion now. All right. Send me it. Because if you do that, you are going to hold yourself accountable and you're more likely to follow through with what I am asking you. If you have realistic expectations, you're not going to beat yourself up for results that fall shorter than some lofty cloud high expectation, expecting to get every trade right or make 100% a month every month is, even though it's doable sometimes in some months, no. Not only if you do this, you're going to be much more psychologically prepared and emotionally prepared to handle your drawdowns because you can realistically forecast how much you're going to lose when you try to execute this game plan in the current bad market condition if you are having trouble in this market. And you're going to try to outperform that goal rather than really trying to make the money when the odds are stacked against you and your system. You're going to know how to persevere and beat this market. Third, by setting these high expectations for how you make each trading decision, you're going to fine tune your trading making process and give yourself a better foundation for your success. It's also going to divert attention from just your P&L, putting even less psychological stress on you. The whole point is to get rid of your psychological stress toxicity and help you make money. Next, uno step at a time-o. One step at a time. One step at a time. Now that you've written out your plan, you printed it out, you taped it to your forehead or the wall next to you or next to your computer, you sent it and you emailed it to newsbeat at t3live.com. because for some reason you are watching this video and there is a guru out there who actually cares enough about you to ask you for this information without expecting anything else from you. And after you send this to me, you need to stay focused on these goals rather than just what your P&L is. The truth is, if you follow those goals, I don't care what your P&L is. And I guarantee you, if you're able to execute properly on these goals, you're not going to care about what your P&L is either, because it's just going to come when it needs to come. The best way to address this is to just pick one small element of your trading and vow to do it better or eliminate it. Revise your expectations higher and work on it until it's a level that you are happy with. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Now, while going about your normal trading plan, you're going to put a more focused emphasis on this and the one particular point that you made. You're still going to focus on executing one good trade at a time, not trying to shoot all the lights out at once, not trying to shoot for the moon, as they say, but rather making sure that each trade is individually sound. You're going to pick your entries, you're going to pick the exits the same way, but you're going to go that extra mile to look for extra buying support or selling resistance. It becomes easier to close positions that don't have that support and also to hold on to the bigger winners that do have that support. You're going to start opening up your mind to different things. Your brain is going to start working differently. Moreover, this one aspect of your trading is not really in isolation. It has a knock on effect to every single facet of your trading. And by continuing this and learning to look for all these things together, you have become a better tape reader, a better reader of the market, and enables you to pick better entry points and to start timing these things better, more accurately, how you're going to do it, where you're going to do it, the type of name you're going to do it. You're going to focus on all of a sudden cutting your losers when before you would just hold on to them. You're going to cut them faster. And by examining more closely your losers, you're going to notice certain ongoing patterns in those quick losers. And you're going to stop entering positions that demonstrate those patterns, and your results are going to improve immensely. The roadblock from failure, the road back up from failure is not really a road, ladies and gentlemen. When you dig yourself a hole in the dirt and you're 6 feet, 7, 8, 9, 10 feet under the ground, coming back up is not a road. It's a series of deliberate steps that are possible in that situation, one after the other. By drilling down to just simply one very specific aspect of your trading, you start fixing a very small problem or upgrading this minor part of your trading that can take you to the next level. It ripples out, it echoes, it spreads around you into other aspects that help you identify the next step and the next solution. And once you have done this prerequisite work and sent it to me, this road from back from failure is actually kind of straightforward. It's actually very easy and obvious. Instead of beating yourself, you're going to remember there is no failure, only feedback. It actually helps us to know where to change, where to go, so we can focus on this process of trading at the smallest, most controllable level. You're going to literally put what you're doing underneath a microscope, and you're going to figure out whatever you need to do to improve, and then do it and over, and you're going to be measuring yourselves against literally the benchmarks that you set for yourself. And as you keep doing this, you're going to realize that everything that you have done from this point on that has climbed you out of your hole literally started with this stupid little word pad and these questions. And somebody like me writing you to RIDING, writing you by making sure that you do this and you send me this through an email like that. And it all starts with this first step. And if you're unwilling to do this first step, and you're unwilling and you just want clickbait video and you want to know why three of my overnights are looking really good right now, and why I bought, double AL calls and lottery tickets, and why I bought Lockheed Martin and all these things. And maybe that's what you're looking forward to. But I am telling you this right now. I could give a crap about the clickbait. I could give a crap about telling you what I didn't make in INSG or what I did make in INSG or whether I even have INSG or whether my real name is really Mark. I really don't care about any of that. I really don't care if you don't appreciate my tone of voice. I really don't care through this video if you're listening to me and like, Mark's being a little bit mean. I don't care. Sorry, I'm from Brooklyn. I've had a very rough upbringing. I don't need to go through that. I don't want to sugarcoat it for you. If you want something sugarcoated, literally go to the fair. They make the little sticks with the cotton candy and they sugarcoat the crap out of that. Or maybe you want somebody to tell you the world is just going to be better if you follow this 1, 2, 3 strategy and that trading is always 100% simple. You never need to evolve. This strategy's been working forever. I'm going to prove it to you. Blah, 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 blah. And you don't need to develop yourself whatsoever. In fact, just sit on your butt, watch Netflix, sit back, and just with your one left hand, Al Bundy style with the right hand, with your other hand, just go ahead and click in a few trades. You're going to be good. Maybe you want to hear that. And you could go to any other place on Wall Street if you want to hear that, because I am not going to tell you it here. In fact, instead of just telling you BS and blowing smoke up where your mental mints should not be, I am actually going to go out of my way to look at your plan and see if I approve of it and see if what you're doing makes sense to me. And it's going to be through your words. And if you send me that plan and I'm able to read it and I just send you something like this, I am going to take my time and spend hours reading your emails to ensure that you get to the next level, because at the end of the day, that is somebody who really cares. Whatever you do, do not go in the description of this video, and do not, whatever you do, download the free How to Overcome Psychological Toxicity in Your Trading. I definitely don't want you to do that, and I definitely don't want you to sign up for T3 Live's #1 largest trading room here. I definitely do not want you to do that. But what I do want you to do is I want you to go here and write me this email. Don't sign up for my service. Sign up for my service. I'm going to sleep well at night regardless. But send me this so I have the ability to help you for free, so I can spend my time, whatever little I have of it, to actually help bring you to that next level in what is inevitably the hardest trading April that I have experienced in 21 years. I hope you guys enjoyed this Newsbeat show. Happy trading, make money, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on the Newsbeat live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful evening.